¿Qué tal? Estamos en la Universidad San Martín de Porras desde el auditorio de la Facultad de Ingeniería y Arquitectura en esta conferencia en la cual tenemos la presencia del doctor Michael Wesch. Michael Wesch, good morning, how are you?
Good, thank you.
With a little interview before your conference, we hope that you enjoy here in your study here in Lima and tell us about some words about your practices and your experiences with the ICTs in education.
Great. Well, I think it starts from what I think is a big need to move our students from simply knowing a lot of facts to actually being able to find information. Sorry, find information, sort it out, uh, learn the difference between good information and bad information, but ultimately be able to actually create new information and knowledge. And part of that creation process has to be collaborative as well. So what I do in my practice is I try to get students together to collaborate and to, in many ways, be more than they could be by themselves, right? So they work in groups and then they do better by working in groups. So we use technologies that allow for this collaboration to happen, and that's what I'm going to talk about in the conference today.
That's a good idea, practicing with your students and sharing your experiences with all the world. And YouTube has a video there you're sharing your experiences. What do you think about the practices of the new generation?
Uh, well, I think there's a little bit of a myth or misunderstanding. I think a lot of us think that the new generation, they all understand this and they use it effectively. But the reality is, while they're really good at entertaining themselves, they're not so good at educating themselves. So I think that's the step we have to help them take, is they can take the knowledge and skills that they're getting by entertaining themselves and actually turn those into things that can actually make them more effective learners, but also can even change the world.
Are you according about the phrase native digitals with a new generation?
Yeah. Uh, I think the idea of it's almost like there are no digital natives anymore because the technologies change every 2 or 3 years so dramatically that nobody's native to what's present today, right? Like we're looking into a smartphone that is smarter, much smarter than any computer was just 10 years ago.
And what about the digital divide?
Yeah.
Considering the women, is, they are in the digital divide about the boys in the world. What do you
Right.
think about that?
Well, what we find is once there is access, then uh, girls actually outperform boys on a lot of digital tasks, especially social digital tasks. So we find that women are more prolific on social networking sites, for example, than men are. But access is an issue, and uh, it's hard to say. A lot of people who look towards the future think access will not be an issue within just a few years because the technologies are getting cheaper and cheaper, and pretty soon everybody will have access to the technology. I think we're still waiting for that to be a total reality. In the meantime, even when we get that far, there's going to be what's called a participation divide, which really comes about because some people know how to use the technology and some people don't. And I think that's the critical divide that we're going to see into the future. And that's where we come in as educators. We have to make sure we educate everybody on how to use these tools effectively. Otherwise, some people are going to be left way behind. And it's bad for society when only a small portion of people are really participating.
In countries like Peru, we have so many things to do to break that digital divide.
Right.
I want to thank your time to spend with me. I'm William Vegas Muro, and your last words before your conference, Professor Wesch.
Thank you. Give me to say some final words.
Before your conference.
Yeah. Final words. I think our greatest challenge in the very near future will no longer be getting the tools into people's hands. It will be getting them inspired to use them effectively. So that's what I like like to pass
Thank
on.
you very much.
Thank you.